Ever feel like the resources and advice out there for women are missing something essential? I thought so too, which is why more than 6 years ago, I created She Said, She Said. I'm Laura Cox Kaplan, and after 3 decades in communications and then advocacy and now juggling motherhood and entrepreneurship, trust me, friend, I get it. Making a real impact takes more than just passion. It takes the right mindset, the right skills, the right investments, and the right community. On this show, we dive deep with incredible women from all walks of life who have been there. We uncover the secrets to building influence, navigating tricky relationships, and staying true to ourselves even when it's tough. And let's face it, it often is. I also throw in my own favorite productivity and life hacks, things that have shifted my perspective and might help you too. Wherever you are in your journey, my goal here is to leave you inspired to define success your way and to help you build the confidence you need to tackle your biggest goals. Subscribe today and let's unlock your full potential, your confidence, and your greatest influence. Hey friend, welcome back to She Said, She Said podcast. You know, starting a business or pursuing some big idea can be really daunting. It takes serious guts. And one of the biggest hurdles, getting the funding that you need to make that business or big idea happen. Traditional funding routes like loans or even venture capital aren't always an option. And that is especially true for first-time founders, for really small businesses, and for those with niche ideas. And let's face it, especially women, who often fall into all of those categories. Women founders are often at the very bottom of the VC food chain, and traditional loans can be incredibly daunting as well. That's where crowdfunding options can come in, and there are a number of different beneficial elements to pursuing a crowdfunding campaign. One of the best is having a way to actually connect directly with your audience and your potential customer, the people who are actually going to use and love your product. And a crowdfunding campaign enables you to get them involved sooner on the early side and actually bring that idea to life. It's another way to build your customer base for the product and to actually gauge interest in it. Now, crowdfunding has been around for a while, but it is really booming right now. The pandemic and burnout and so many major layoffs have actually fueled both massive need and a new wave of entrepreneurs. With that wave, crowdfunding has become a go-to for many, many creators and founders. The global market for crowdfunding is projected to hit nearly $7 billion by 2031. So if you're thinking about taking the leap, or you're just interested in maybe floating a project to see how potential investors or customers might respond, I have got some great insights and an inspiring entrepreneur who put her passion for finance and for women to use building her company, which is a crowdfunding platform. I am joined today by Gerry Poirier. She is the founder of a social impact and crowdfunding platform that is women-centric. It's called AngeLink. Gerry's incredible resume and experience, which includes time at Wharton School of Business and then later Wall Street, gave her a firsthand view of the opportunities that exist for women, while at the same time, the lack of access to funding. And her awareness and knowledge of that actually sparked a calling to do things differently. In today's conversation, Gerry and I talk about her company, AngeLink, what makes it different from other crowdfunding platforms, why she opted to not only focus on funding for small business, but also for emergency relief as well, and how those two pieces fit together. And we talk about why she's focused on women. Gerry shares how she created the company, and she shares great advice for how you might use crowdfunding to fund your own business or project. Friend, here is episode 302 with AngeLink founder Gerry Poirier. Enjoy. Gerry, welcome to She Said, She Said.
So nice to be here. Thank you so much, Laura. It's great to join you today.
Well, I'm happy to have you, and I'm excited to learn more about AngeLink and what that is and to share this with our listeners. So let's start there. Let's talk about your company, AngeLink. What is that?
So AngeLink is the world's first social crowdfunding platform built by women. And it is, well, everybody knows GoFundMe.
Right.
It is basically a female-powered type of GoFundMe. And it is what I say is sort of unleashing the global economic power of women. AngeLink is a marketplace. It connects people who need money and people who will give you money. And it's modern technology. It's innovative. We use a lot of AI. But what's so cool about AngeLink is, and people don't know this, in the peer-to-peer crowdfunding space, like GoFundMe, people don't understand that 70% of those organizers are women.
Wow.
70%. And if that isn't interesting enough, guess what? 72% of the donors are also women.
Interesting.
So this is a industry that's already dominated by women. There's always an opportunity for number two, right? If there's a Citibank, there could be a Chase, and if there's a Home Depot, there could be a Lowe's. AngeLink is really the second industry leader behind the current industry leader. And we are trying harder, we're doing it better, and we're getting incredible traction serving and targeting women because women are so underserved economically across the world.
Yeah. Talk to me a minute about what got your attention and why you decided to pursue this particular path. And I'd love for you also to talk a bit about your background. This was not your first foray in finance, but I suspect it might have been your first foray in entrepreneurship. So I'd love to just know a little more about your journey and why you decided to pursue this particular path, because there's obviously other ways that women can get funding. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about this.
So, it is, I think the fundamental thing of even setting out to build a company is the why. Why are you doing it? What is your mission? What's your focus? And we are a mission-driven company. I started this because of my own personal background. I think it is good to hear the founder's story. It really started with this, with my own upbringing. When I was a child, my grandmother had a farm out in Maryland. It was in a very poor area, extremely rural countryside, a lot of underserved families. And I remember going with my grandmother, and she was the kindest person I've ever known. And she would take a little pad of paper and a little pencil. For some reason, it was always the little size of a golf pencil, those little pencils. And she would write, because her husband, my grandfather, played golf. So she would write the name. She'd go in her old jalopy station wagon. She'd write the name of all of the family members, the children, the parents of, 100 families that lived anywhere in a 10-mile radius of her home, out in the country on these dirt roads and mountain hills and stuff. And she'd start with a sewing club, and she would make handmade clothing for the babies.
Wow.
She would, and I was part of this too. She taught us to sew, my sisters and me and my brother. And we would make crocheted blankets. We would make scarves and gloves. Mittens, couldn't make the gloves. And for things that she couldn't make, we would buy at Walmart. At the time, there was a Kmart too. And we'd start in the summer, and we'd wrap them all up and put them up in the attic. And I remember one Christmas, it was a Christmas Eve, and I think I was about 8 years old. And we pull up to this one house, and we're delivering these Christmas presents. And 6 children come out of this house. It had no electricity. It just had candles in the window. There was no electricity. They could not afford their electric bill. So, and the 6 children came out of the house, and they had no shoes. And it was snow all over the ground. And I knew that I had personally wrapped shoes and winter boots for each child with their name on it in the right size.
Wow.
In addition to a winter coat. So, that feeling of incredible, being able to actually give and feel that gratitude kind of reflected back on me and my family. It really never left me as I grew up, and that is the why. And I feel like if every single person does one small act of kindness, we can change the world. And we are living in a very dangerous times, I think, with what's happening around with a lot of very aggressive wars and fighting and tremendous problems that I think are coming our way. And I see this, and I believe the world needs a lot more light and kindness and love and angels. And that's what we're doing. We are actually connecting people who are, actually angels among us to other people. So we're doing our part. We believe that there has never been a better time for a platform that really uh, links hearts together and changes lives. And so that's what we're doing with AngeLink.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So I know after you grew up, you spent time on Wall Street, you worked in finance. Maybe talk us through a little bit more about your career.
So I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area. My grandmother had the beautiful farm in the country outside of Maryland. And I was fortunate enough to get a very good job when I graduated from college and got a job on Wall Street. And it was a large investment bank. And I was one of the only women on the trading floor in New York. And I did, financial products and treasury service products. And then they sent me to Asia, and I was the only woman in the building.
Right. I'm sure.
And yeah, and it really a lot has not changed on Wall Street, to be perfectly frank. So anyway, I saw with my own eyes that women were so disenfranchised economically, really across the economic spectrum. And so I kind of, Wall Street is all about making money, but that the real opportunity is to really help people help each other. So the idea of really helping people and using a financial system where you could magnify and amplify the ability for people to help each other, that was the message. That was the kind of the mission behind AngeLink. So using my background in finance and finding that crowdfunding was an incredible opportunity that's really just getting started in the world. In the United States, we're maybe 5 to 10 years ahead of the rest of the world. But the genesis of AngeLink was using my finance background for good and for building a company that does well by doing good. And to me, that's a beautiful thing. And it's not easy to do. Starting a crowdfunding platform, I think, is one of the most difficult things to do. And I can tell you about some of the challenges we've overcome in building it and where we are today. But that's kind of the background of how I moved from finance into crowdfunding. My father actually was dying of cancer. I was in New York. I'd come back from Asia. And I said, this really isn't for me. I want to do something that really changes the world. I have this absolute passion to do something for others. And that was sort of the idea behind AngeLink.
Yeah, I love that. Was it hard for you to make that pivot? I mean, a lot of times once you've pursued these big jobs that, any girl would kill for that job kind of thing, you get it, you're sitting there, you're like, yeah, this is great, but maybe it's not. It's going to be what works for me for the long term, or, maybe I made the wrong decision. But getting out of those situations when you have decided, okay, here's where I'm going to go, pivoting can be really hard. Was it hard for you to make that pivot?
Absolutely.
Well, talk about how you knew it was the right moment and how you made the leap, because I think that piece oftentimes of the stories that we talk about and hear on this podcast is one of the most interesting elements, is sort of coming to terms with the fact that what you thought you were supposed to be doing isn't really what you're supposed to be doing at all.
It was this unbelievable pull. I just knew that this was not my calling. I just knew, really from, seeing the example of my grandmother that, life is not and cannot be always about making money. And I think we are here and we all are called to help someone else. And I do believe that in giving, you do receive. And the greatest gift you can do is really helping someone else. And I do believe that the world really needs a lot more kindness and love, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I think that is the most important thing. It's really not what's in your bank account when you're, you know, on the hospital bed and about to go to heaven. It is not about how much money is in your bank account. It is the lives you've touched, the family you've built, the people that you share your life with. And I firmly believe that. So anyway, the transition was kind of a natural transition because it really hit me in the face. My father was pretty young and he was dying of a very aggressive form of cancer. And I said, I'm gonna risk everything. I'm gonna quit my job and I am going to help him. So I came home and my mother and I, because my other siblings were working, and I just said, I'm actually gonna help him. So, he died in our home. The irony, he's a doctor and he was head of hospice.
Oh.
And he died as a hospice patient of cancer. So, cancer, medical issues touch every family across the world. And that was kind of the reason I took that leap of faith. It wasn't easy. And it was certainly not a straight shot to success. It has been, and I think the funny thing you'll hear from a lot of entrepreneurs, if I had any idea how complicated, how difficult, how many sleepless nights and 3 o'clock in the morning nights I would have as a CEO, I'm sure I would have never left Wall Street. But I did, and there's no turning back.
Yeah.
And the good news is we built it, it works, and it's taking off like crazy.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. So I'm struck by, your story and the experience of being with your father when he was in his last days, and recognizing the expense that can put on a business owner or a family at any point in time when somebody has a terminal illness that maybe goes on for many years. And so I'm struck by that element of your story, and also something that I know you're focused on at AngeLink is this two-pronged strategy that's not just about helping women start businesses, but also helping in emergency situations. Maybe talk a little bit more about sort of the different dimensions of how AngeLink can help.
If you look at this industry, it is driven by the U.S. economy. 78% of every American living in this country is living paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. And guess what? 81% of that number are women. Mm-hmm. It's shocking.
Yeah.
So women are disenfranchised economically across, for so many reasons. We don't have to go through all the stats, but they're incredible, right? So crowdfunding, peer-to-peer donation-based crowdfunding like GoFundMe is exactly what we do. The vast majority of our users are medical expenses, funerals, an accident, a flood, a fire, a hurricane. What charity is going to help you if you need a new wheelchair tomorrow for your daughter? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go if one of our, I spoke to yesterday, one of our amazing users, he was in his backyard. His name is Terry. He was grilling a Sunday dinner with his 3 children and his wife, and there was a bottle of alcohol on a table 6 feet away from the grill. And it was so hot when he opened the grill cover that the bottle of alcohol, that was grain alcohol I was using to clean something, exploded.
Oh, God.
And burned 60% of his body. Who is going to help him? What charity tomorrow is going to help him? Okay, so there is an amazing problem in this country, and it exists in every country. There are hundreds of millions of people in this country that a charity will not be able to help. That is the problem we're solving.
Interesting.
There is, so you know, the magnitude of need
Hmm.
is enormous.
Right.
So, and the fact that women are humble enough to ask for help and do represent over 70% of those organizers and over 72% of the donors giving small amounts of money much more frequently than men, that's an enormous economic opportunity for any company.
Wow.
And if it works in the United States, I guarantee you it'll work in every country because there is nothing more powerful than a mother's love. And the first thing she's going to do, you give her $10, she's going to buy shoes for her children. She's going to put food on the table. And so if you look at the U.S. economy, 78% are living paycheck to paycheck. So no wonder this industry is growing like crazy. Our competitor's done 30 billion. They're opening offices in every country. AngeLink started 2 years ago. We have almost 90,000 users.
Wow.
We've done over 5 million in transactions, and we're just getting started.
Yeah.
And we are so honored to be serving women. We are built by women, powered by women, but of course we're open to everyone. I have 4 boys. I'm a mom of 4 boys. If one of my boys gets sick, my father, my brother, my uncle, they're all going to help me because they know me, they trust me, and we're helping each other. So anyway, so just to answer your question, over 90% of our business and in the current fundraising business on donation based, it is people helping people in emergency situations like medical, funeral, or whatever. So, and if you think about it, right, I mean, Western Union is a donation system. A woman from El Salvador cleans houses here in the United States. Every week she's sending $100. She's sending it to her mother. It's very much women focused, women driven, because she trusts her mom. She knows the mom's going to help take care of the family that's left behind, et cetera. So, Western Union has been around 100 years, and it is people helping people with donations. It's usually families member helping another family member. AngeLink takes that one-to-one relationship and makes it one-to-many. Because it's not just that I need to send $100 next week to my mom. My mother now has cancer. I need $3,000, and I don't have $3,000, but I can reach out to all my friends with my AngeLink. I can share it on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp, YouTube, Pinterest, when we deep linked to all of those platforms. And I can raise my $3,000 or $5,000 and help my mother overcome breast cancer. So, just to be really clear, our way over 90% of our current business are these emergencies and people helping people. There's a beautiful thing. It goes viral very quickly. Because the first thing you do when you start an AngeLink fundraiser is you're trying to raise money, you're sharing it with everyone you know. You're sharing it through the social media, by text, and by email. So it's a payment system, donation based. These are all, people giving $50. In fact, the average donation is about $70. So, the vast number is about $50. Some will give 100, maybe 200, maybe 1,000. But the average across all of those donations is about $70. So that's the industry today. Women are so economically disadvantaged, and from my own experience, I can tell you this for sure. If you're starting a business and a woman, you have enormous problems raising money. The biggest problem for a woman, she's just as smart as a man. In fact, half the time she's smarter, and she's selling a product that actually is targeting women.
Right.
The access to capital, access to money is incredibly difficult.
Right.
And as you may know, women get 2, maybe 3% of venture capital, and that hasn't changed in decades.
Right.
So where are you going to go if you want to build a little bakery? You want to have a commercial oven. You are really great at making cupcakes, and you need maybe $15,000 for a commercial oven. You need a couple months rent. Tell me where you're going to go. No venture capitalist in the United States is going to put you in front of him on a conference table about your bakery.
Right.
And I'll tell you this, you as a woman be turned away 40% of the time for a commercial loan. So if you don't have a rich uncle, good luck. The very best way, the innovative, the new way to raise money is to go out to your community, to your friends and family, and raise your first money in. It is a donation. I loved cupcakes. I would love for you to build this or to even just rent this little bakery and create a little bakery in my downtown neighborhood in, Madison, Wisconsin. I would love that. So yeah, I'm going to come next Saturday. I'm going to buy a few cupcakes and I give you $20 so you can buy your commercial oven because I want your bakery in my backyard, in my community. So and it solves, not only can it help women raise money very quickly with donations, with gifts, it helps spread the news that she's going to open the bakery, and it builds customers far better and faster than sitting in front of a commercial banker who's a one-to-one person who's either going to say yes or no.
Yeah, I absolutely love that dimension of all of this, that this idea of the awareness that you're really building the community and
your
the
future customers,
your future customer
futures through crowdfunding.
Yeah, it's
even
amazing.
if you want to do, let's say you want to start a makeup line, and you say, okay, great, we're going to start a makeup line, and I need $20,000 for inventory. It's a fantastic way to tell all these people, you can get on my waiting list and give me $20 or $50 or $100 because I'm coming up with this makeup line. And it's a great way to spread awareness on your business. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Gerry, let's talk tactically for a moment and get you to share some advice or some tips on if I've got a business, a potential business founder who's listening to this podcast, who has a small business idea, who wants to potentially crowdfund some funding. How's the best way for her to package her pitch? I mean, and look, this as well as I do. We aren't always our best spokespeople. Sometimes we hide all of the amazing elements of who we are and what we can do as opposed to promoting it. So recognizing that fact, how's the best way to develop a really compelling pitch for a crowdfunding campaign for your business?
We make it so easy. It really takes 5 minutes and maybe 10 if you want to be really fancy about it. But you basically, you can put in up to 3 pictures or videos. You go on AngeLink, which is angelink.com, ANGELINK.com. Let's use the example of your cupcakes and your bakery. You put a picture of the commercial oven you're trying to buy, some maybe pictures of you in the kitchen, making the cupcakes, and a picture of the cupcake. That's it, 3 pictures or a video. And you say, well, I'm trying to raise, let's say, $20,000, which is your first money in. And then you write your story. We also have something that we developed, which is so cool, called an AI wizard, artificial intelligence wizard. So you can actually write your story, and then it's good, but you might want to tweak it. You can say, click on the button and see what the AI wizard would do with that story, and it creates this beautiful, potentially more compelling story. And you hit submit, and you can be up with your campaign. And then you have a beautiful, landing page, basically, where you can share your AngeLink. And again, you can share it through all the social media channels. It even has a QR code you can print also, which is also super cool, a flyer. So you could actually put it around different stores and partners and restaurants that allow you to put the bulletin board, and you can put your AngeLink flyer saying I'm raising money. And all of it is printed for you with a touch of a button and a separate QR code that people can literally just go up, to say, oh, I really would love to have this bakery, and I want to come next Saturday and get free cupcakes, and I'm going to donate $50. And they can do that by just literally hovering over the QR code. So there's tremendous availability with a touch of a button, using technology to quickly tell everybody you know through social media that you are raising money for your business. We also have a deep link sharing for all of your contact lists that you can send them an email, and you can also send them by text.
Amazing.
And up comes by text, again, your entire campaign, that you can text through your automatic sync on our app, which we have in iOS and Android. So once you've started your fundraiser, you've written your story, maybe you've inputted a video, then you really need to get to work to share it, which helps you because you're building a community of potential buyers for your product.
Exactly.
And you can do all sorts of creative things to get people to build awareness. And we also have a kind of a VIP service for our users too. We have an 800 number. You can talk to a real person, which is very unique in our industry, using artificial intelligence. We also have a lot of gamification and kind of engaging tools in our platform as well that make it the most innovative new crowdfunding platform, I think, in the country.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Maybe, Gerry, talk to us for just a minute before I let you go about what's next for AngeLink. Anything interesting coming up that folks should be aware of?
Absolutely. We have an amazing thing that I have not told you about. We have a foundation, and that foundation is called the AngeLink Community Foundation. And our mutual friend Pilar is the executive director of our foundation. And we are just getting started with the foundation and are absolutely thrilled to announce, and we can announce it here, that AngeLink is partnering with the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration, and their Women's Business Centers, which is the Association of Women Business Centers. They have about 150 locations all over the United States, and they train and help women business owners that want to start a company or they need help in growing their small business. I'm from Washington, D.C. I didn't even know this existed. I didn't know there were 150 locations, but there are. And the biggest problem these women have is all free training, free podcasts, free networking and resources, which we are partnering with. The biggest problem these women have is getting money for their business. And we are solving that problem with AngeLink crowdfunding. So it's a beautiful partnership. It's really a perfect partnership. We're a technology company solving this really critical problem of helping small business owners, specifically women, support their business. So we're doing this partnership. We were just launching it now. It's going to be in March. We'd love for you to come.
I would love to.
It's going to be March 10th in Washington, D.C. And, oh, by the way, it's being hosted at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce.
Fantastic.
And the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, as you may know, is being run now by the first woman in history.
Yes.
And that's absolutely, we're thrilled. So our partners include amazing, amazing sponsors, and the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office is joining us too. So there's a lot of groups that really want to help and support women, and everything is free. The technology we provide is free. There's just a small, credit card processing fee, but that's it. There's no platform fee to start a fundraiser on AngeLink. Of course, the curriculum provided by the SBA, Women's Business Centers is free, and U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has a lot of free services too. So it is an amazing opportunity. We're going to do a pitch competition, and there will be prizes for the winners, and it will be called the Angels of Hope Pitch Competition. And we're putting it all together, and it'll be in the spring of 2025. So that is a huge announcement. And if you'd like to participate, it's super easy. All you have to do is start a fundraiser on AngeLink. Go out to your friends and family, make a legitimate fundraiser to raise money, to build brand awareness, and to raise capital for your business, which is the donation-based crowdfunding. And then we are doing a matching program and a grant program through our foundation. And our foundation really supports women in entrepreneurship and women in education and women kind of in urgent need and emergencies. So that's what we're doing at AngeLink. And we are just thrilled to invite every woman in America to check us out, to try us instead of GoFundMe. It's really about time. This is the 21st century. It's kind of about time there was a fintech platform and a community, caring and empathetic community powered by women.
Amen.
That actually supports women, and a percentage of our proceeds supports our foundation for women. So we think this is a woman-dominated industry. There should be a platform like AngeLink, so we built it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. What an inspiring story. I will include, for anyone listening who is new to AngeLink, I'm going to include a link where you can go directly to the website. That's where you can get all the information about creating your AngeLink campaign, about creating, funding your project, funding your business, whatever might be interesting to you. I urge you to check it out. Gerry, thank you for what you're doing for women and to just make the world a better place. I really appreciate it. It's great to be with you.
Laura, thank you so much. And, it's women like you with your podcast that's really doing your part to elevate, empower, and amplify women's voices. And that's exactly what we're doing. So we'd love to partner with you and invite you to the pitch competition. And
I'll be there.
You'll be there.
I'll be there. Friend, I hope you were as inspired by today's conversation as I was, and I hope you'll check out AngeLink as a potential platform for building your business or maybe funding a new project. I've included a link in the show notes where you can learn a bit more. Also, friend, I love hearing from you, so be sure to send me your thoughts about today's episode or anything else that you might have on your mind. Also, I'd love to hear if you've tried crowdfunding for your business. And if you give AngeLink a try, I'd love to hear about that as well. Again, you'll find helpful links in the show notes for this episode. It's episode 302. Also, because your feedback helps me develop the type of content that is really useful and most interesting to you, be sure to leave me a review with your thoughts about what you're enjoying about She Said podcast and maybe what we could do better. I would be really grateful. For now, you take care, and I'll talk to you again next week. And remember, She Said podcast is a weekly production of She Said Media.